How could the guards downstairs not hear this every single fucking day? They probably want him out of that cell more than he wants to be out of that cell. I would imagine he's gonna burst an artery or something. Not that I give a shit. Go right ahead. You know, too bad he don't put his face on camera so we can witness it. For all I care. He keeps on going at this rate, then he ain't gonna have to worry about getting out because they're gonna be carrying him out. Guy's gonna have a heart attack or stroke or something, or just complete nervous breakdown. The level of his voice, you could tell how frustrated he is. What is that song? It's an old song. I don't know if it's a country song. Well, it's crying time again. Da-da-da-da-da. And it's crying time again. And every time he gets on the show, he's crying. Perhaps if you didn't do the crime, you wouldn't be doing the time. Oh, we got 20 people in here. I don't even look at the numbers. Oh, I had a good sleep last night. Absolutely. Benadryl, magnesium, that works real well. Oh, it's crying time again. I wish I knew the lyrics. Perhaps sometime on here I'll sing a full song if I got the lyrics in front of me. If he wants some real entertainment. Yeah, I get bored too talking about him. Although some of my audience that comes in here, they want to hear all this shit. But it's not necessarily meaning that I even like even talking about the guy. This has been going on for how many years now? You can imagine I'm on overload with this shit. And he certainly is. And he's showing it in a big way. I mean, damn. But I don't know, that Ricky's brisket sandwich meal, man, must have sent Barry into a tailspin. I guess Brevis is going to have to up his situation a little bit and get him another brisket sandwich. Brevis. Well, you know what, Barry? I really wouldn't depend on Brevis that much because Brevis has ulterior motives. He just wants to be in the spotlight. He's not your friend. And I don't think Brevis looks at you as a friend. He's mocking you in his own way. He only comes on camera, visits you just to get a little bit of attention. He's attention starved for some reason. That's all. Brevis is not a friend. You perceive him as a friend because he brought you a couple of things. Let's see, baseball bats in the prison cell. Baseball bats. Wow. Junior slugger. That wasn't real smart, not even for Brevis. Supposed to be an educated man. Brings you a fucking baseball bat. That was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Not. Oh, I guess nobody's talking this morning. I know. I understand it. What could you say that you haven't said before in regards to the situation? I totally get it. It's been said time and time again to the umpteenth power mathematically. But when somebody doesn't understand something, no matter how many times you tell them, they never will. He wonders, he said, well, Frank thinks he could get away with everything. I mean, no consequences. Well, doesn't that apply to you? And isn't that exactly what you did? And now, you want a court trial? Is this not a wake-up call for you? Or what does it take to wake you up? Wake me up before I go. Gotta have another cup of cocoa. I don't know, man. You need more than coffee, dude. Something maybe that works with your brain cells or something because something ain't getting in. That's for sure. There's nobody home, remember? There's nobody home. Apparently not. Vacant lot. Vacant apartment. Nobody home. Ah, just about done with that. Oh, it's crying time again. You don't cry so much, Barry, but I've been reading the comments, though, and I get joy out of reading some of the comments on there. And people, they've been just, trying very hard for those that, it's not that anybody really gives a shit about your situation. It's just that a lot of these people might be opposed to me. That's the only reason they come over there, if anybody gives you any support. But, why isn't everybody just showering you with all kinds of money? If they were supportive, they got to a point where they just don't believe you anymore. They don't trust you, what you've done with the money in the past. And you're really upset that Ricky's getting donations. Didn't he remember even saying something stupid about me? My show is all about the money. What money? I'm not even remotely monetized. Do you see any advertisements come on my show? None that I'm aware of. I'm not monetized. I got enough subs, but I didn't put in for anything. Probably maybe have enough watch hours. I'm not sure, but I'm not putting in for monetization. It's ridiculous. It's not worth it. Oh, he's back from the rain. So much for going out. Yeah, right. Goes out to go biking in the rain this morning. That didn't turn out well. I can't see how. I'm riding a bike in the rain this morning. Hold on. What the hell? He got soaked. Yeah, he did. Well, he's back. Well, that didn't turn out too well for you, did it?
Yeah, it was good.
You were still riding in the rain?
The rain got me refreshed.
Got you refreshed. That's a good attitude. See, a kid with a good attitude. The rain didn't stand in his way of bike riding. See how positive he is? Hey, wasn't a negative thing. He said it got me refreshed. There you go. That's the attitude you gotta have. The rain got me refreshed. See, under my guidance, these kids are doing wonderful. They're doing wonderful. Oh, don't put Frank around kids. Well, you want some testimony here? Bubblehead, you want some testimony? What these kids think about me and the family? You'd be surprised. Probably you won't, but you're not going to say anything positive. They're perfectly comfortable and happy around me. Never had any problems with them. Either way. Hey, Junior. Did you go? No, it's not breakfast time yet. No. Stop scratching your face. Okay. With her allergies, too. Me and her are alike in that sense. We both got allergies. But yeah, I caught 40%. I have to put it in numbers. Be about 40% of his show this morning. I said, "Oh, that's enough." I thought I was hearing the show he did before that because it was the same, same material, the same content, the same blah 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 bullshit. You can only listen to so much of that, man. Seriously. Whether or not, and whether you're gathering evidence and crap. I mean, the truth is, a lot of times I've had to put the phones down. I'll generally sometimes record it from one phone to the other. You can't get rid of it, And I'll lay it down because I can't sit there and listen to them over and over again, So I just put the phone down and I record the shows, so I don't have to listen to the whole damn thing because it's very difficult to listen to him. Remember I gave that comparison to there was an old porn movie when they had him in the theaters and all that, The Devil and Miss Jones. Remember me talking about that? And I knew her name too. Yeah. Anyway, not important. But the whole context of the whole movie was that she was a nymphomaniac. If you don't know what a nymphomaniac is, Barry, someone that says you gotta have sex all the time, gotta have sex all the time. It goes beyond casual sex. It's just like you gotta have sex. It's like if you're a drinker, you gotta have that. You gotta have that, glass of booze. So in her case, the devil. Oh, Georgina Spelvin. I actually saw her when I was in Times Square. There was a big book signing thing, believe it or not. Oh no, movie poster signing or some shit like that. I was in Times Square eons of time ago. Georgina Spelva, she's a short little lady. I'll say, what's all this ruckus about? It was at a kind of a bookstore or something, if I remember correctly. Oh, that's Georgina Spelvin. She's from the movie Devil and Miss Jones. Okay. Why is she here? you know, oh, she's signing autographs or posters or something on there. Okay. No, I didn't walk away with one. I did see the movie. That's how I'm able to talk about it back in those days. So the whole idea of the movie was that, again, she was an nymphomaniac. And I don't know all the criteria, but she committed suicide in a bathtub and she cut her wrists. Now, of course, if you're Catholic and all that, it's a sin to kill yourself, okay? You're going to go to hell, but you're going to go to purgatory first, and they're going to, like the judge in a courtroom. And purgatory, as the judge in a courtroom, is going to decide your faith. Well, of course, she killed herself. They really didn't want her to go to a heavenly place, let's put it that way. So what they did was she wound up in her own hell, which was basically, and I've told this story before, but it's a good story. She wound up in it looks like a cell, like Barry's cell, about that size. And there was a guy in the cell that she had to share the cell with. And this guy was, psychopathic. He was just, I'm talking about Looneyville. Now, keep in mind, she's a sex maniac and she has to have sex. She can't help herself. Like some people can't help shutting their mouth. So it's a good comparable here. So her punishment was being in a room with somebody of the opposite sex that normally she'd be able to have sex with or get his attention somehow, get him aroused. But that's not what was happening. This guy, all he was talking about is this imaginary fly in the room. I'm not sure that's what the movie was about. And she tried to get his attention. She even was masturbating herself. She was so horny because she was an nymphomaniac. True story. Well, it was a movie, okay, but nevertheless. And he had absolutely no interest in sex at all. He had no interest in sex, none. That was her hell. I think Barry's hell should be where he has to listen to himself over and over again, his own recordings, for the rest of his eternal life or whatever, or his hell, his own personal hell, to have to listen to his own recordings, how hateful they are, how much denial, the lies, would have to listen to it over and over and over again. Boy, that would be punishment, wouldn't it? Eternal, eternal hell. That's very personalized type of hell. Very, hello, too early to eat, dogs. Too early. So come over to say hello to me. They love me too. Yeah. She always comes over to me, this one, and she's got to get her head scratched and head massage. And yeah, I say goodnight to the dogs every night. Take my foot, rub their belly or rub their neck a little bit. I tell them good night, go get some sleep. Yeah. They're like my kids. I don't go, Chet, Chet, I'm going to throw hot water on you or throw rocks at you. No, I don't do that. These dogs get loving attention all the time. She comes up to me all the time. The other one also, but not like this one. This one here really demands my attention. The other one, when I give her attention, she starts moaning like, oh, I love being petted. I love you, daddy. I love you, daddy. They express themselves very well. Yeah, dogs can express themselves. And the thing about dogs is that they're not full of bullshit. They're not full of bullshit. They show genuine affection. They're not involved with politics or social media or nothing like that. They're pure in their thinking, in their mind. They're pure. That's why people love dogs. But I know somebody that hates dogs, hates cats, hates people, hates himself. Jeez, man, how do you live with yourself? I couldn't. You gotta have something in your heart somewhere that's good. They say everybody has some good points and everybody has, some qualities to themselves. I don't witness this with this individual. I just really don't. I haven't witnessed one good quality about him at all. And that's over how many years? I have not seen one good quality, redeeming values or quality the whole time he's ever been on YouTube. No, not once. Not once. Maybe, perhaps, if he would tell the truth now and then, maybe he will get some donations, something. To let people know that there's hope for him, that he catches himself in lies all the time. He's supposed to be married, right? Isn't that what he said? But every time he does a show and then he has to stop, and oops, I just referred to her as my girlfriend. Well, if I was married, I would refer to her as my wife, not my girlfriend. Apparently, he forgot about the wedding. Yeah, that wedding, that one. That's the one. Oh, remember this one? You remember her? Do you remember her? Do you? Is that showing out on screen? What happened with her, Barry? Do tell. What happened with her? What happened? You remember? Remember her? I know you do. Oh, let's see. Can you guys see that picture? What happened with her? Think back. Bring back some memories. Does it? Well, it should. How about some of these things? Memories. That's all. They're memories. Memories in the corner of my mind. That's what they are. Let's see. We'll leave it at that, maybe. Sometimes people got to be reminded of stuff. In his case, well, he just doesn't remember. Well, there's things he just doesn't want to remember. Okay. Let's see. All right, we back. Let's see what I could do with this. What other ones? Well, I had limited ones on here, actually. Remember her? I remember. And everything that happened in that relationship. Done and done. Well, you boys are awfully quiet this morning. Let's see. Can we go back to... Okay. I'll assume you saw those pictures anyway. Oh, there's more, but what the hell? Sometimes you got to, jar people's memories a little bit and think back and think of the things you said and done in your life. It's like they say when you die and you see your whole life goes through your mind. And that's what the people who were dying would say, I saw my whole life before me. Well, of course, they survived because they were able to tell the story. But they said they saw their whole life. And that's the thing that needs to be done with this guy. He needs to be reminded of all the things he's done, and he knows exactly what he's done in regards to people and Filipinas and people in general. Sometimes they got to be reminded. There we go, back to that. Life could be a bitch, But I think it's what you do with your life that makes a big difference. You can't be happy in life if you're not happy with yourself. And you can't love anybody unless you love yourself. He makes a lot of clear, oh, I love myself. I think I'm great. I'll talk about narcissist. He doesn't love himself. He's a very bitter person. He's already 50 years old. He's not a young chicken no more. You got to think about what did you accomplish in your life at all? And yes, I did go to college. I did get a bachelor's degree. I most certainly did. But I've done other things too. And we're not talking about academia. There's just a lot of things in life that, if you've done well for other people, it could be something very, seemingly insignificant. Helping somebody out that don't have any money, paying for their groceries. I've done all that stuff. Helping an animal in distress, he would never do that. He's the kind of guy that would hit an animal with his motorcycle. The thing's crawling away in pain, and he won't come to the animal's assistance. Fuck the dog. He ran in front of me. I could have been killed. Well, that's true. I'm sure the dog didn't want to run out in front of you. He didn't want to get hurt. But in his sick mind, it's like, fuck the dog. I could have been killed on it. Yes, true. That's true. But you're going to blame the dog. Or maybe it's your erratic driving, perhaps. Whatever the situation may have been. Whatever. But, you want to help the dog out if you can. Not walk away from a situation like that. I'm not seeing my chat box here. Let's see. No, we'll go back to that. Well, no. Remember her? Remember her? Think hard. What transpired? Do you remember her? I hope you do. She remembers you. And a lot of other people do. All these women. No, I'd never harm a woman. I'd never strike a woman. I would never abuse a woman in any form or any way. I'll keep on telling yourself that. People know the truth, and you know your own truth. There's certain things regarding reality that you don't want to face. But unfortunately, that doesn't change anything that transpired. It doesn't change it at all. What's happened has happened. You can't change that. But people can change if they want to change themselves, in their contemporary life. They could realize all the mistakes that they made and they could try to correct. But he's not willing to do that. Expecting sympathy from people, you just can't get it. When you put out videos, live streams as he does, into things he says over and over again, and you're not going to get sympathy from people in his situation. He's just not going to get it. But he continues to go in that direction, and I just don't know what he thinks he's accomplishing. He's expressing himself, yes. I believe, in people expressing, the arts, everything, a certain level of freedom of speech, yes, but there's a cutoff point on that he does not understand at all. And that's why he's in so much trouble all the time. And again, I'm going to have to say this. You have no right putting legal papers on your live streams. You're in the middle of a court hearings. This is sensitive information as far as the court is concerned. That will be brought up. How is that going to help you? See what I mean? You're doing things that constantly don't help you. You do not put sensitive legal information up. Not certainly during a court trial, not during it. I think there might be some little bit of leniency on that after something's over, but during an actual, when you're still going to court or you're on trial, you cannot be putting up legal papers, not even for his girlfriend's shit, not even for that. You see this? You see this? What does that say? What does that say? It says you're an idiot for putting it on there, that you're so fucking desperate that you got to flash these legal papers on there. I'm not going along here on my shows flashing a bunch of legal papers. I know better. That could harm your case. Very little did I ever do that. It might have been a couple of times I put something on there in the past, but that's not something I'm going to do in any regularity. I mean, we're at that point, you know, we're dab straight in the middle of a fucking court case. You got to keep that in mind. What you do from now on is definitely going to affect you and the outcome. I know you're hoping about the fine and all that stuff, and you're going to be sent on your merry way home. But understand, whatever judge comes to a decision, you already pleaded guilty, that's going to be like a conviction. And that's where I need to straighten you out about something here. It's not the first time I'm saying it. It's not going to be the last time. Is that if you are convicted, which, you know, you already pleaded guilty, so, you know, you will be blacklisted. And he's laughing about me. Oh, you're going to get deported. You're going to get deported. But you are definitely, we know that, going to get deported. But you will be permanently blacklisted. Permanently. Forget about ever coming to the Philippines again. That will never happen. Now, on one note, that should be punishment enough. But here's the problem with all this. And I've heard people talk about this. Oh, he spent enough time incarcerated. Well, come on, look at him. Ice makers, coffee maker. He's on there playing online games. Got a cell phone, laptop, coffee maker. Surprised he ain't got an air conditioner in there. I mean, he's suffering in his own way, but it could be worse. It could be a lot worse. And it should be. What gives him the right to still have a cell phone and use it and continually make these incriminating shows or live streams, shall I say, on me? Everything he puts on, he says, I don't want to talk about this guy no more. Okay, you got a new lawyer. Let's discuss that. You got a new lawyer. Any level of competency, I would say that this lawyer would be telling you that if you want me to represent you, you have to get off social media. You have to put your phone away, or certainly not be allowed to use your phone for the said purpose of committing the crimes over and over again. He could lose that lawyer just like he lost the other one. Because as the other lawyer said, that in so many words, that my client, and he was on the screen too saying it, that basically you were non-compliant to his advice. The lawyer doesn't want to waste their time representing somebody if they're non-compliant. When the lawyer tells them you need to get off YouTube, you need to, if you are the person on trial, you need to get off YouTube. That's what caused the damage in the first place. But he doesn't understand that, not even remotely, because he's always on here doing the same thing all the time. How does that help him? I just want to know. How does that help him? How? I'm still trying to figure that out. The way his mind works. Look, you can flash all the papers you want, which is illegal to do. Again, it's private, sensitive information. You could do whatever you want. And again, I understand your frustrations. You know, if there's any level of compassion, which is there isn't much for you, I could understand anyway your frustration of being in there. But your own words, Frank didn't put me in here. Okay, I didn't put you in there. So stop saying I did this to you. But you're in there for a reason because you're on a court trial. That's why they're not letting you out. As much as you don't like it, that's something that unfortunately you're being forced to comply with. You don't want to comply with anything else. You don't want to comply with your lawyer's advice. I mean, look at him, show after show. He's got a new lawyer. What happened with his last lawyer? We don't know the whole story, but his lawyer, he didn't fire his lawyer. His lawyer rejected representing him. And wow, that takes a lot for a lawyer to say, I don't want to represent this guy. That takes a lot, but it does happen. You don't hear it that often, but it does actually happen. If you can't be compliant with the lawyer's demands on you, they're trying to tell you, hey, I'm trying to help you here. But if you can't listen to me, then we got a problem. Then they'll say it ain't going to be my problem anymore. Find another lawyer. And I believe that's exactly what happened. Boy, nobody's talking this morning. That's amazing. That's okay. You're listening. I know he's listening. No, I don't stay up late for your shows, Barry. I don't do that. I go to bed my normal time. My normal time. But before I went to bed, I remember you were doing a show, and I guess there was another show after that. This guy's on a roll. But he's yelling into that fucking phone, and the whole damn immigration center, which is not huge, hears him. How do you think these guards feel, or any of the cellmates in there? Would this guy ever shut the fuck up? That's what they're thinking. Oh, he wants to see me in the same cell. Oh, that would be delightful for you, wouldn't it? That would be delightful. I don't think that's what you really want. I don't think you want to be in that situation. That would be something to videotape, that's for sure. If I was allowed, but I may not have all the privileges he has. Just think about it. Cellmates. Wouldn't that be an interesting scenario? You'd be pissing your pants every fucking day. Pissing your pants. Gentlemen, if there's not going to be any dialogue here, I'm going to be cutting the show short here. I pretty much said what I needed to say. Good morning. Well, actually, it's good early evening for you, Mr. Clausen, Popeye. You got to stop meeting like this. But I've read the comments, and he has some staunch followers, train wreck followers, basically, that act like they support him. But do they really support him, though? Think about it. No. They just want to get him edged up. They want to get him going so they can listen to him having a nervous breakdown on camera. That's all it is. Those people are not your friends. Not even Brevis. He's not your friend. He's so far from being your friend. He just wants to highlight himself. That's all he wants to do. 2 thumbs up anyway. Well, we'll give you a few minutes. If you want to make any comments, now's your time to do it. Unlike Dodo Boy, I don't always like to sit there and listen to my own voice. Oh, we got third thumbs up here. What's wrong with this? Can't. Oh, cancel. And we got 16 watching here. And no dialogue. Since when is that happening? Are you getting as bored with this as I've been? I know everything seems to be so repetitive on here. I get it. Especially with Bobo there. If he had hair, he'd be pulling out his hair, truthfully. But your frustration shows. It shows very much. The tone of your voice, the decibel level of your voice, it shows you're totally frustrated. You're aggravated, you're frustrated, and we understand why, and I understand why. But how is it helping your situation? That's the key question to everything. How is it helping you? By going under the attack of me constantly. Think the court's not going to know this? Wow. Somebody came in. Anthony is ready to hang up the towel here, you know. Did you listen to his last show? I got to listen to just about less than half of it. 40%. I don't know if I had to put it in percentile. I guess I didn't miss anything because it was the same. Oh, here we go again. I'm just as repetitive as he is because basically he's doing the same shit on his show. So when I talk about it, it's going to be the same thing that you probably heard, but I'm just kind of emphasizing certain things that he says on there and listening to his total frustration with the whole situation. I mean, I'm not heartless, okay? I'm not heartless. But as I tried to make my viewers understand something, you know, it would have been a lot different in the earlier phases. Accept his charges and, you know, stay off YouTube and don't make it worse for yourself. And I did advise that. But he just kept on doing shows even up to today. I mean, he's just kept on doing show after show. And this was after, well, before and after, you know, he received the charges. Now, I don't know how you all think out there, but that's total stupidity. He calls me a moron, or he says a moron. Who's the moron that keeps on coming on when he is on trial? And again, doing the same thing that he's done over and over again to give him these charges to be bestowed upon him. Does that make any sense to anybody out there at all? Because it certainly don't make any sense to me. It makes no sense whatsoever. So what's going on, HAG? I'm sorry, you know, I don't always have and remember whether you're living in the Philippines or whatever. I have certain regulars that come on here, and I try to remember are they still in the States or they wherever they live, or are they actually in the Philippines? I don't know. I heard Rick. Oh, did you? I heard that too. I heard Ricky's live show earlier from the 1 minute and 45 or 1 hour and 45 mark until the end. He told the truth about Barry's situation. Is that the one he did where he's eating a big brisket meal? Was that his Ricky's last show? Sandy. Oh, Sandy, you're in San Diego. Okay. He came on? Okay, was that on the show that Ricky was eating the brisket? Because that's the only one, last one I remember of Ricky. Was there another one I missed? Which show was that? The last show I seen, he was in a restaurant eating brisket in Thailand. Oh, before that, okay. I did see some of that. I don't know if I saw the whole thing. I remember him saying a few things about Barry's situation. Okay. Yeah, I just don't remember it all. Not everything on there. Yeah, CW was I guess oh, okay. Yeah, I'd have to go back to that. CW, yeah, I'd have to go back to that. So I think he was actually on live too with Ricky, right? He was okay. Oh, they did lay into him. Some of the stuff I did remember that. And they really did. Well, CW don't like me, but I'm not sure why. I've not done anything with him, but he was a guy that gave buku money to Barry. And then when he realized, his money was being misspent and seen his attitude and everything, but just to throw mud in his face, he gave this tiny donation to Barry. He said, "Here, go buy a supply of Xanax." Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. That was his donation with a caption there, something like, "You can go buy some Xanax," because Barry was just out of it, man. He was in his element, that's for sure. You can only do that so much without causing harm to yourself. I don't mean the Xanax. I'm talking about getting on his phone like that and just yelling into it for how long? That'll take its toll on you, big time. It would to me if I had to do that. I could tell you that. If it would do that to me, it would certainly do that to him. But yeah, Ricky's been laying into him lately because Barry's been on the big attack with Ricky. Big attack. And now because CW ain't donating no more, Barry says, "It's not about the money. I do my show for entertainment." Then why does he try to have membership? Why is he pushing people to send him money if it's not about the money? Oh, start the video is that 1 hour and 45 minutes? Or is it 1 minute 40 1 minute 45 seconds? I must have seen that. Well, okay. Maybe I just didn't see the part where I don't think I did that CW came on. Yeah, I'd like to see that. So it's the video before his last one, the one where he's eating brisket and pissing Barry off with that. Oh, okay, well now, okay, good. Clarify that. There's a difference. Okay, could have been 1 minute and 45 seconds. So you got to probably have to. Okay, yeah, I'll do that after I finish up here. I guess I don't know. I got to prepare something for breakfast to eat. I'm not sure. I have to go settle for some oatmeal or something. I don't feel like eating anything heavy duty. I kind of balance my diet. It's actually healthy to eat some eggs, but you don't want to eat it all the time and all the time. Shit, I even have leftover lentils from last night. I'd be bold enough to eat that. Oh, that's an idea. Yeah, whoever eats lentils for breakfast? Me. I do. I'll eat vegetables. I'll whatever I have. Might even cook up some broccoli. I mean, that's called a healthy breakfast. Yeah, I'll check that out. You got 15 people there. It means there's 13 people that are too afraid to talk. That magic number, 13. But I think, well, it's very clear that Barry's just making it harder on himself. Okay. Yeah, well, as long as it's a video before the last. Okay, I could find that. That's stupid. I think I could figure that out. But thank you. Oh, shit. Yeah, maybe I will have some healthy lentils. I actually made lentils last night. I didn't feel like cooking. I got a couple of ribeyes in the. Not gonna eat that for breakfast, but I've had ribeyes for breakfast before. Actually, had the whole deal meal. I had ribeye with some toast with cream cheese on it or butter, an egg. Sometimes I'll do that. Can't do ribeye all the time. Remember, I'm poor. You can't afford to eat ribeye all the time. And it's not that healthy to eat it all the time anyway. God, if I had to give advice to these guys, I guess I already did. Ricky, you need to tone down your diet, man. I don't know. I just watching people be reckless with their lives. I mean, that's it's called preventative maintenance. They can't be doing that kind of shit. Let's see. We just came home from Costco. Oh, good old Costco. The Mahal loves to go out and eat for free. Well, you know what? Well, unfortunately, with Costco, you need a membership card. But I do remember I did belong to Costco in Seattle, and yeah, they always had these stands when they were giving out samples. Yeah, Ricky would do something like that, and I know Barry would do something like that too. But you have to have a membership card. They're not going to pay for that. Well, certainly Barry's not. To go in there and that's his meal. They had to prevent people from doing that, though. That's why they have people at the door to make sure they got a membership card because there are people that would come in just to feed themselves and get all those free samples. And I know that the vendors, that the people that are trying to present these products and giving out samples, they know the chances are nobody's going to buy them. Oh, I'm kind of hungry. How about a little toothpick worth of food or a spoonful of something? Ricky thinks he can go for a walk, which is good, but then he turns around and negates any good for himself by eating all of that high calorie, high fat foods. Well, that's what I've been saying all along. Okay. That's what I've been saying all along. You can't feel sorry for people like this. You really can't. And it was the same with Fazio. I even gave him advice, and a lot of people gave him advice. He used to buy tons of pork, which is not healthy, by the way. It's just not. He'd eat a ton of pork. Besides, I think there's a lot of parasites in there anyway, and you got to really cook that. The pork is not the other white meat. I remember growing up, when the pork industry was down, they'd have these commercials coming on saying, pork, the other white meat. No, it's not. No, it's not. HAG says most of the sample ladies are pines, and the old lady was buddy with all of them. Yeah, they invite. Yeah, we're gonna have some free samplings today. Make sure you come in. Let's see. Maybe I will have. All right. I've yet to do some exercise this morning, but I'm just kind of lazy this morning. I'll do the isometric shit, but more so I want to get on the stationary bike, kind of more so than the treadmill. Maybe I should heat up some of this and make a balanced meal altogether here. Oh gosh, do I really want this? Well, last night, you won't believe it. Oh, look at this. I got some of this left over. I'll have the chicken and lentils. That'll be okay. Hold on, brother. I knew that would come in handy for something. And of course, we're going to heat up some of these lentils with a little butter in there or something, salt and pepper. It's not just lentils, they're mixed with peas too. They're split peas, whatever in here. Not too shabby, really, when you think about it. I did the same thing in Costco. But you know, when I went to Costco, I mean, everything in bulk there. I didn't need everything in bulk. I didn't need a fucking 1 gallon jar of freaking mayonnaise or something. If they allow you to mix and match like they say on canned food, I guess you could do that in Costco. Maybe you just didn't want corn or whatever it might have been, or beans or something. Maybe you wanted another kind. You want to mix and match. I guess you could do that. Hold on here. Now I'm going to throw. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to mix this in that bowl. Just reheat this again with the lentils. Look, I don't have a problem eating lentils. The problem is it does create a hell of a lot of gas. But it's got protein, it's got iron, it's got fiber. So that works out real well. So let's finish this up. I know, you think I'm crazy for having this for breakfast. No, I'm not actually. I'm not saying that the chicken is really healthy, because I know for a fact it was fried with canola oil, because we ran out of oil here. When we were in the store. Hello, baby. We rub your belly. You girls gotta wait a while before you eat. A little concerned about them because they're not very active. They're like house dogs, really. They go out, want to bark at everybody that passes by, and that's their activity. And as I said, they're not the type that wants to go out for a walk on a leash. We tried to leash train them, but it just didn't work. They fight it all the way. And I should have really pushed on that. But here they are. They're just resting this morning and hello. Okay, baby. Now she'll come for attention and scratch. She's got her own allergies. Yeah, there you go. I know you're gonna want attention to it. Stop scratching. Hey. Stop scratching. I'll lay in your belly. Yeah. There you go. She moans. She loves that attention so much that she moans. She always does. She'll come up to me. If I give her attention and pet her, I almost don't even like to do it sometimes because she always moans. What are you moaning about? She's that much in love with me that she's just moaning. It's just crazy. The other one's not like that, but the other one demands a lot more attention than that one. Well, it's kind of a day it is out here. We got a shitload of leaves I'm going to have to sweep up when it dries out. I'm surprised that tree in the back is not bare down to the damn branches. Seriously. A little late for that, have been trained by a professional. I know, like Caesar. You ever watch Caesar? Boy, he's really good with dogs. Well, I think what it is with Ginger is that she was a rescue as a tiny little puppy that came to our gate. You have a house. And kids would always pass by the gate and tease the dogs, and tease her. And that kind of like, same thing like with, people growing up and how their childhood was and what makes them who they are today. It's like that. I think she's afraid of the kids that she doesn't know. But she's also very protective, too, of the property, of us. And she's kind of scarred with that because I think as a puppy, well, she was a very small puppy. I mean, I don't know how many months old it was when it came to the gate. Yeah, yeah, Caesar Romero, is that his name? Yeah, he's really good. He's really good with the dogs. He's more than good. He surprised a lot of people with dogs that were really out of control and how he got them under control. One lady had a dog that was wanted to bite everybody. See, everybody have some form of talent, something you could offer the world, something to contribute to society. Anything, anything. Some people don't. They just clearly don't. Be a dredge to society. That's all they want to do. Suck off the tits of society. How do you live that way? Oh, that's too hot now. Are you kidding me? What the hell? You got to draw the line somewhere. Okay, I'll add a little flavor into this because I'm not going to do what I did last night. I was lazy last night. I didn't even put any seasoning in my lentils last night. I didn't care. It was still healthy. No, I do eat a lot of beans. Not because I ain't got money or food, but I try to, as I said, I try to balance things out. Because sometimes I do have some shit food. Yes, believe it or not. I might have a cookie now and then or something like that. But generally, for the most part, I kind of keep it at bay, you know. Or certainly try to. I certainly do have a better diet than Ricky or Barry has. That's for damn sure. There's no question about that. Okay, let's see. Here's a pepper. Put a little pepper in there. Also, there's a tiny bit of butter. I don't want to overdo the butter, so I got some chicken cutlets in there, actually, which has, and also lentils or also split peas in there also. So that's not a bad breakfast. I mean, the chicken, it was fried. Yeah, I'll tell you that. That's not good. Yeah, Caesar, right. See, I got that magic number again. There are 13 particular avid viewers, or 12 or 13. That's not hot, but not bad, though. I'll try to listen to that 1 hour and 45 minutes. People think I'm crazy what I do in the morning when I eat here, but what might be crazy for somebody is normal for other people. Anyway, back to where we were talking about. Barry, let me tell you something, man. You haven't been doing good for yourself. Although I enjoy your live streams. I mean, keep them up. You're doing a good job. You're more likely doing me a favor, and you don't like me at all. You're more likely doing me a favor than you're doing any favors for yourself. I mean, also health-wise, raising your cortisol level to your heart by screaming into the camera. I mean, he was at a point of hyperventilating. He's fucking hyperventilating. Not a wise idea. But Barry says, I'm just going to continue. You're not going to shut me up. Hey, knock yourself out, man. Knock yourself out. It's not bothering me. I mean, what you're hearing right now is my reaction to that. Oh, you're not hurting my feelings. But beyond that, but I'm going to tell you, if you got another legal representative, you're going to do the same thing over and over again. Well, they're going to say, fuck this, you're on your own. Remember, if I go down, you're going down with me. You're already there. Keep that in mind. You're already there. Don't pretend to be a lawyer because you're not a lawyer. You got to learn to read and write first. Anyway, I'm going to finish my meal. Thanks for stopping by. I'm going to call my sweetie. She might even visit him. I think she's close to that area. Well, I'd love for her to come there to his cell. Say, Barry, you want to talk shit about me? Here's your opportunity. I wish you would do that. Because that would be absolutely epic. Totally epic. Imagine if she went over there to visit him in his jungle. Although I don't think she would ever do that, though. She's a lot smarter than him. A whole lot smarter than him. I would think that would be funny than shit. But I don't seriously think that's ever going to happen. I'd like to see the way he stands up to her. Would never happen. And he wouldn't stand up to me either. It's one thing to run your mouth on a live stream, but when that person is standing right in front of you, that's a whole nother story altogether. Stop, Scott. That's a whole nother story. You want to talk the talk, but you don't want to walk the walk, right? That seems to be the history with this guy. One mistake after the other. You do the mathematics on that, and it doesn't add up to any kind of equation that's going to be remedying his situation whatsoever. How it is, Stefan. Barry is getting crazier and crazier with each day. I've noticed that. I'm glad other people are noticing it too. It's not just me. He's getting a whole lot more intense. But like I just said on my show, live stream, call it a show. The more he does that, I mean, he's got a new lawyer, okay, supposedly. Maybe it's a public defender, I don't know. Or where he got the money to get an actual lawyer, I don't know. It's probably a public defender. Now, I'm not saying anything bad that public defenders don't understand the law, but they're not very experienced, for one. That's why they're doing this, to get experience. But even a public defender is going to say, look, you want me to help you out? I'm glad to help you. It's my job. But you have to stop this YouTube shit. It's going to be the same thing's going to happen with his other lawyer. His other lawyer knew he was doing YouTube shows. They probably had a lot of argument on that. I would imagine so. You're going to be non-compliant. You can't be non-compliant with everything in your life. When it comes to being defended in a very serious, it's a serious case. I mean, he makes light of it, but it's actually it's a serious case. In his mind, you think, oh, it's only cyber libel. So what does that mean? It's only cyber libel. It's a criminal case. This ain't civil, Jack. This is not civil. It's serious. But apparently he ain't seeing it for what it is. I see it for what it is. I take everything seriously. I take her case against me seriously. I'm not going to pretend that I don't. And it is for revenge. That's exactly what it's for. A lawyer can write up anything they want and make their client look squeaky clean. But that's what a lawyer's job is. But my lawyer is basing everything on facts and real factual evidence. That's the difference. Trust me when I tell you, they want they want this case to be over just as much as I do. Maybe more. I don't know. They're not exactly thinking in their mind that I'm representing my client because he pays me. They understand all the ramifications or everything he's done. They've listened to his shows. If they didn't listen to him, they had recordings of it. They know exactly, where this guy is coming from. Stefan says he doesn't seem to understand the severity of what he's doing. He's just so defiant. And you can't be defiant like that all the time. All his life, I think he's been like that. Defiance doesn't get you anywhere in life. Some people go after their ex-employers after they get fired. They go there to try to destroy their business, burn it down, or shoot the ex-employer. Yeah, that happens all the time. He's kind of in that genre in a way of thinking, where he wants to shoot me down for putting a case on him. Well, if I didn't have a reason to put a case on, there wouldn't be a case. I mean, that's logical. If I didn't have, proper reason to do so, I wouldn't do so. He just wasn't, taking that off the, out of my hat. Oh, I think I'll just do a case on him. No, it was well thought about. His continuance to be, as you say, defiant and cocky and so forth, it did not touch my heart in any positive way. Stefan says he does have a oral fixation. He said if he could do that to himself, he would never leave the house, and he was sick. Oral fixation. What's this oral fixation you're talking about? He does have this oral fixation. Said if he could do that to himself, he would never leave the house, and he was serious. Kind of interesting statement. What did you mean by that? What is this oral fixation? If he could do it to himself, he would never leave the house, and he was serious. Explain that to me a little bit. It sounds interesting. Oral fixation. Now, you guys apparently see some things I haven't seen, but I'm not really sure what you're talking about. Well, he has a fixation on me, that's for sure. That's why he can't sleep at night. I sleep.
But I'm not going to go to bed thinking about him, no matter what situation's going on, court, legal matters. I'm not going to. When it comes time to go to bed, I guarantee you I don't have him on my mind, or else I'd never sleep. Certainly not in my case. I don't know about him, but he stays up wee hours of the morning, sometimes doing shows, or he can't sleep, or which is not healthy. Stefan, don't leave me hanging with that statement. What do you mean by that? He does have an oral fixation. He said if he could do that to himself, he would never leave the house, and he was serious. Don't leave me hanging on here. What does that mean? Now you got me curious. Yes, Stefan, he is getting crazier and crazier. If he was on camera, you'd probably see his eyes bugging out of his head with some of those shows. It meant if he could. Oh, okay. That one, that oral fixation. Gotcha. Hello, Clint. I think it lends itself to his emotional immaturity. Just say what you're saying. It means if he could blow himself, that he would. Is that what you're saying? Okay. I'm a little slow, apparently. I don't know, man. Maybe he's oversexed or something. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha, Stefan. Just Clint Assange comes out and says, just live off his own sperm. Oh, God. I don't. I just don't want this picture in my head, you know. God, some people might be into that kind of shit. Not me. I'm never that sexed up that I would do anything like that. I know what you're talking about. Gross. I don't know. He's the kind of guy that makes sex ugly. If anybody could accomplish that, that's him. He makes sex an ugly thing when it's not supposed to be an ugly thing. You know, sex, is a physical thing between a man and a woman, generally a man and a woman, but these days, it's going haywire. Yeah. He just makes sex seem so goddamn ugly. When he refers to a woman's, all the names he calls women's vaginas and all that. And it just makes it so ugly. And an act of sex, I mean, how long does that last? How's your stamina or this or that? How long, you know, eh, you get your rocks off and that's it, right? He could do that with his hand, and I'm sure that's exactly what he's been doing all this time. I would imagine because he's kind of oversexed, I think. Yeah, Stefan says it makes it almost sound like a violent act. It's not supposed to be a violent act, a loving act. I mean, you can say dirty words to each other having sex. Some people do that. I don't really do that, but some people like that. I never really got into that. I've had some women that did that with me. I mean, you can say something mild like I like the feeling of your so and so inside me or something like that. That's acceptable. But he does make it ugly. He just makes it really ugly. And if you were in a mood for sex after listening to him and some of his stuff, you wouldn't want to have sex. You'll wait till later on. See, he can affect you that way. Yeah, almost like a violent act. Hey, it's my way of giving it to you. Okay, biatch. You know, that's kind of like his attitude. To him, a woman is a biatch. You know what I mean? Subservient. Even an indentured servant, really. It's not the way to look at a partner. Do you see how many times he slipped and kept on calling her his girlfriend instead of his wife? Everybody should have took notice of that. And he tried to correct him. He knew he said something. He said something to that. He kept on slipping on that one. He slipped quite a bit, actually, referring to her as his girlfriend, which is exactly what she is. They're not married. So he lied to everybody again. And people sometimes said, hey, man, I had enough of that shit. And some people were asking him on his show, can't you just possibly talk about something like the Philippines? This thing with Frank is really getting played out. He goes, oh, I'm never going to stop. I'm never going to stop until I'm out of here. I'm never going to stop. Well, don't. I'm not telling you to stop, really. I'm not really saying for you to stop. Do it as much as you want. I mean, it only helps me, but it's not helping you. And that's the whole farce about this. I mean, that's why people are chuckling, and they're grinning from ear to ear when they hear this stuff. They're saying, damn, for a guy that wants his freedom, you're not doing a good job of trying to get to that goal. HAG says characteristics of a psychopath. Well, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I know a little about psychology, but I'm no expert on it. I don't know how they would rate him. Now they have something called Axis, AXIS. You're either an Axis 1, Axis 2, Axis 3, 4, 5, or 6, or something. You have to look it up. When it comes to psychology, what does Axis refer to? You may want in your own time look that up. And they'll define you on this axis. And he probably fits in a number of categories. Because, yes, this is what he displays. Okay, look, if you were like not familiar with him, and you never heard his live streams before, and you're just some transient that came in there on his shows and had to listen to his tirades, that's exactly what they would think about him. What loony bin did this guy escape from? HAG says, do a Google search of characteristics of a psychopath. I'll have to do that sometime and read it online. No, I mean, he could use this against me or whatever, but as I said, it's by his own demonstration. He does fit the characteristics if you really think about it. I mean, I know some of the characteristics. I don't know all of them, but he does fit some of the characteristics of that. Maybe they should just put him in a loony farm somewhere. I don't know. It describes Barry 100%. No, it could very well be. I don't know that for sure. I know that he's borderline something and over the border on some things. Because when you think about this whole shit and the way he's talking on there, knowing the circumstances he put himself in, then yes, we could all clearly say that he has psychological issues. We could all, even his lawyer would say it. And I can say that very freely on here. He does have psychological issues. There's no doubt about it. It's his own display. Even a lawyer cannot argue that point. Right. Lack of empathy, HAG says. He doesn't. He doesn't wish people well. But just imagine being in a permanent relationship with him. And that's, it's why I talk about this. I don't care who he gets together with or vice versa. I just, I'm thinking ahead. And I'm saying to myself, this poor girl, if he had a way of getting out and he moved in with it, I mean, I just don't see anything good coming out of this. I'm just being honest. Right. Impulsivity, manipulation, lack of empathy. Yeah, that does define him. You could be totally correct on your little diagnosis. He has none of the above. But you also have to understand, person that's in that position of what you describe, they don't understand it. They don't see themselves as being such, okay? They're in total denial. I mean, I think they know when they're doing something wrong, but they don't want to admit it to themselves because they don't want to give in to a situation. They refuse to give in. They refuse to tell the truth. They refuse to, you know, allow people to speak their mind, and that's why he cuts people off. He doesn't want to hear anything bad about himself. That's why he cuts off all his viewers that come on there on his show, on his own show, his own live stream, and they're trying to tell him something that, man, you got to stop this, or you're really out of line, dude. Well, why are you doing this stuff? And and when people recognize what he's doing and they talk about it, he just has them blocked or on timeout or something. Shallow emotions, grandiosity, antisocial behavior. Yeah, you seem to be hitting the list of all of them. You may be right. Poor judgment. Wow, you listening, Barry? You have all of the above. And then, when you hear his voice is it's not like he's talking slowly like me. He's going like 60 miles per hour, which means he's absolutely frustrated with himself, probably. And of course, frustrated with his situation. Anthony says, other characteristics, pathological lying. There you go. That's true. Poor self control. That's true. Promiscuous sexual behavior. That's true. Juvenile delinquency. That would probably be true. And criminal versatility. I think you guys are hitting the nail on the head. Are you listening to this, Barry? Does that apply to you? Make a checklist. If so, you are what he describes. And Matt, and I'll tell you what, that'll take a toll on a person, mentally, emotionally, and physiologically. And he's not the healthiest person, and he's gained weight. He's not going to lose that weight. Oh, I lost 5 pounds or something. Well, I don't know how he's going to lose any poundage because eating McDonald's double burger with cheese and French fries and all that kind of shit, chips and all that stuff. I mean, he's counteracting on his goal. I mean, he wants to lose weight. He realizes he's obese, but what exercise could he do? He says he has a bad back. So what is he doing? Oh, I walk around the building a few times. That ain't enough. Did you know that you'd have to, Einstein, to burn off the calories from one candy bar, you'd have to walk or run 7 miles. I knew this for like 40 years. You'd have to run 7 miles, quite a distance actually, to burn off the calories of a good solid candy bar, a regular size candy bar. Yeah, it's true. AGG says normal people recognize something is wrong with him and eventually abandon him. That's why he can't keep a relationship, and he never was able to, and he never will. This is going to be one of the loneliest men on the planet. I mean, look at Ricky. Ricky's 10 years older than him. He's like around 60 now, right? That's a lonely man. And lately, he's discovering that even with his so-called pocket of money, he's finding it hard to get one of his rented dates. His personality precedes him. I mean, he's he comes off as being kind of psychopathic himself, really, when you think about it. AGG says the story of his life. Barry says so himself. Everybody has turned their backs. Yes, I heard him say that too. Well, Barry, you got to ask yourself, why has people turned their backs on you? Sit down alone in your cell and think about why people are turning their back. Because of your chronic lying. That's one example. He said so in his letter. I think I heard that too. Yeah. He admits that he lies. He at least admitted that. Maybe there's hope for him. I doubt it, but at this stage of the game, at his age, I don't think he could change. If I thought he could change, situation might be different. If he approached me in the past in a different way. But like I'm also going to make a statement, whatever happens to me, well, he's going down anyway. So there you go. And if I really have to really say this again, I will. But no matter what happens in court with him, I got him again. I got him off the streets for 22 months. That was quite an accomplishment, if I say so myself. I'm good with that. If all else fails with me, at least I got the son of a bitch off the fucking streets, out of the bars, causing trouble, not hurting other women financially and otherwise. Sir, he admits to his lies, but he downplays its effects on those around him. Yeah, he doesn't realize it's not been a bowl of cherries for me and Gilda. It's not been that way. I'll admittedly say that. This has got to be over with, that's for sure. And I'm going to make sure it happens. I didn't come this far into it to give in. And I'm going to have to tell him again. The death threats. And right now, there is no. I had that little glitch there for a second. As if flying isn't a big deal. When you're nice to somebody, chances are you can get your way. But when you're doing exactly the opposite, you're repelling people. So he's wondering why people are avoiding him now. He's wondering why they're not donating. He's wondering why people are abandoning him. It's because of what he does. I know you made that statement. Yeah, he admits to. Oh yeah, well yeah, he downplays the effects it has those around him when he comes on a show. It showcases it shows a lack of character. Oh, he's a character, all right, but not the kind of character you want to think. He's quite a character, that's for sure. But his character in general is pretty obvious that he's very bitter with himself. He's bitter with the world, everything around him, and he may break someday because he admits himself that he does get verbal with his girlfriend when he's upset about it. He'll say something, but what everybody's got to worry about is that his mood, and if there's a possibility he's ever going to strike his girlfriend, it's quite possible. And we've seen some excerpts of videos on here before and how he could be, and he admit that his wife pushed him to the point that he attacked her neck or something. He hit her in the back of the head, or hit her in the head is what he did. That's what he said anyway. And he did go to jail for 6 months. So with that in mind, yes, he's not going to get No, he's not going to, he has derogatory records which carry through here to the Philippines. You think they don't have that information? I'm sure they do. And right now, immigration, and I did a story on here, well, I mentioned it briefly anyway, that they're really cracking down on foreigners now. You know, they're going to go through a fine tooth comb if they had any criminal records from the country they came from. Stefan says if he ever does get deported, he would never make it back to the well, yeah, it's according to what happens with the court case. Yeah, true. I don't know. He thinks it's a slam dunk or something. I don't know. Even with his girlfriend's complaint, it's not a slam dunk yet. And he's saying that no, no, no. He shows this piece of paper that, and that came from I think 2019, what he was reading, but it was based on that. But he was reading this charge sheet, whatever it was on there last night. And according to my lawyers, no, everyone in the Philippines still has the right to defend themselves on a case, and especially in having to do with deportation cases. You do have the right to go to a court of appeal and so forth. He's saying that that's not allowed, but I've seen nothing else that supports that when I go on Google. And so far, my lawyer have not supported that statement that everybody has a, I forgot how he states it. Everybody has a right to, in law, to, anyway, it just has to do with defend themselves in a situation, or even immigration. Well, you might be right, not making it back to the States because you could wind up in a jail cell, but I mean, what really gets me is he keeps on saying his girlfriend's done nothing. Is he forgetting that she's got a complaint against me to try to deport me? She's done nothing? Are you serious? There's some serious shit going on here, bro. Let me tell you, some serious shit going down the pike. As I said, I'll fight that tooth and nail. If I could turn this thing around, I will, but then it's going to get more intense for him and her. That's not a threat, that's a promise. I speak straight out. I don't have to make threats. I know better not to make any threats. Although he's claimed I threatened her, I don't know how. I don't know when I've ever threatened her. According to him, it's even physical. How do you physically threaten somebody that you never even met? Figure that one out. Because I can't. He's so with this shit. You called her a whore, a prostitute, and all this shit. When? And when I did ask him to show proof, all he came up with is where I made a statement that had to do with conjugal visits. And that's not an illegal statement. I'm sure a lot of these jails have conjugal visits. I don't know if they do in detention. Perhaps they do. But they do it in prison. But generally, if you're married, now, if you're not married, there is something in there that might say that you can't have conjugal visits. Otherwise, it's like almost like prostitution going on to allow somebody to come into your cell and have sex with you. That's the way the law, I believe, looks at it. I'm not saying that's how I look at it. I'm saying that's how the law looks at it. If she was indeed his wife, then she would be guaranteed conjugal visits. I guess he has to use his hand a lot in the interim. Oh, well, to each his own. You got to do what you got to do sometimes. Oh, I heard another story lately, not about him, but I don't always remember all the shows I come into. But a guy was saying he gave his horror story where he got his woman to the United States. You know, it was all good. And the minute she got her green card, she left him. and she went to go divorce him. Oh, guys, you got to know what you're getting into. Yeah, I could have done uh, the whatchamacallit, as they like to say it, the other stage of getting, out of a marriage situation, annulment, But I don't really need a piece of paper. And considering my age and all the bullshit expense involved with that and the time it takes, it's very elaborate. It's just too elaborate. Much too elaborate. I don't know what happened to Gary, the GAC. He went through how many years to get an annulment, and I think they finally got to the point because he don't post anymore. He finally got to the point where I believe he was approved, for the annulment, But yet I don't think he married her, and he's still working in Arkansas, which I never understood. They're never together. She's career minded to be. What was she doing? Into nursing or something? She's career minded. And Gary Kennedy even stated that when I do come to visit her, he doesn't know what to do with himself. He's not that independent, without her. That he's used to doing things together. They make videos. They should spend time together. But she's on such a heavy, you know, college or work schedule that made it very hard. They would always spend time to go out on the weekends and do something together, but sometimes she's even busy on the weekends, as far as I remember him saying about that situation. So LDRs just don't work. I just can't believe how gullible people are. The scams out there they pulled on foreigners. But when you're desperate, and you act desperate, and you do things that are desperate, like he does. If I showed up at his detention, he goes, here we go, guards. Oh no, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. He ain't going to be here. He ain't going to be here. Well, if they did, I'd have to be there, right? That would be something. That would be something. But he figures he's got in good with the guards. It'll make it hard for me if I was in that situation. I run the third floor, motherfucker. And you run your mouth. Okay, guys, I got to go. I got to shower. I got to feed the dogs. Got things to do. Oh, what was that one statement I thought was so incredible of him? I got better things to do with my time than to talk about him, but that's all you do is talk about me. But what are these better things he has to do with his time in a jail cell? That's the answer I like to hear. But then again, he's not lying. Believe it or not, he has his Xbox, got his phone. You can look at movies. Who has it better than him? Well, I do, but oh man, did he attack Ricky? He was attacking everybody last night. You could tell his level of frustration was through the roof. Through the roof. Okay, Robert, your turn.
All right, good Friday evening to everybody. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. Yeah, there's a counter clock for Frank. Yeah, old Frank and Stank. Let's see, what we learned tonight? We we learned the rules of how sex should go, according to Frank. We learned that he's never going to stop talking about Barry, Barry, Barry. It's another important thing we learned. Oh my God. Oh, but hey, what can I say? What can I say? This is what the guy does. This is what he has. I mean, Barry, Barry, Barry. It's all about Barry. And pretty soon, March is coming. His 3 years are up. And it's going to be bye bye you, Frank. That's the way it goes. And as usual, he implies shit. He attacks Shaw. He even went back in time and fucked with Gary at the end of his show. I mean, I don't know what any of this gets him, to tell you the truth. We also learned that Gilda is in Mango Square, showing off her manhole. Or maybe she's with Jimmy trying to make number 9. I saw that one in the live chat. That was pretty funny. Thank you, Brevis. Message me his address on the phone now to Santa Fe PNP. Oh, man. Is there an address on the Rice Caper poster? I think it was on Facebook. Yeah, it was on Facebook. Yeah, Don, he finally shut the hell up, man. But I hope you all enjoyed that. Yeah, 3 hour rant. I hope you guys all enjoyed that. But I got to rock and roll. It's Friday night. And you guys have a good night, man. And I really enjoyed the live chat. This is Popeye One. I'm out of here, guys.